to your health. Joining me today is Dr. Lorraine Maita, a functional and integrative medicine physician who practices anti-aging medicine, executive health, hormone replacement therapy, and weight management. She's the author of Vibrance for Life, How to Live Younger and Healthier. Dr. Maita is here today to discuss solutions for being tired or wired. Welcome, Dr. Maita. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, Joan.
Well, Dr. Maita, stress in our society today, it's so pervasive, and that stress can lead to something that we hear a lot about now, and that is adrenal fatigue. So what is adrenal fatigue and what are the effects?
Well, adrenal fatigue is just a catchphrase because the adrenal glands don't get fatigued. They're under control in our brain. And when something gets dysfunctional, the central control of the gland gets disrupted, and that results in fatigue. So that's why it's been a catchy, non-medical way to describe what's happening. But it's not the adrenal glands that get fatigue. It's the brain. The person feels fatigued. But the problem actually lies in the brain. Because you know what? We have the genes of cavemen. And when cavemen were exposed to stress, they had to really get up and fight or flee. And that's what the adrenal glands do. They prepare us for that. But it has bad consequences if it keeps going on and on. Because in our society, the stress doesn't stop. In the early stages, people feel wired but tired. They're tired, but they just can't relax. And in the late stages, it's like somebody pulled a plug. People can't get out of bed. They're just so tired. You can actually see it on their face. There are bags under their eyes. They have this lifeless look about them. Because, when the cortisol stays high, it breaks down bone and muscle. It raises blood pressure and blood sugar. And when the elevations occur so much, the brain just turns off. It says, I'm not going to accept this cortisol stimuli anymore. And it shuts off the adrenal glands, and that's where the fatigue comes in. And this leads to conditions such as fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, and also autoimmune disorders.
So, doctor, with so much constant stress, how do we keep that cortisol level managed so that it's not too high or too low?
Well, lifestyle is probably one of the most important things to control the cortisol hypothalamic adrenal axis. Getting enough sleep, eating whole foods, avoiding stimulants such as sugar, caffeine, those simple carbs, alcohol, and food allergens can really take away a lot of that stress stimuli in the gut, which is connected to the brain, which is connected to the adrenal glands. I also recommend taking adaptogenic herbs because they're like training wheels. They don't allow the cortisol to get too high or too low, and they make your cells much more resistant to stress. They keep you calm yet focused. And the adrenal glands need a lot of vitamins, especially high doses of vitamin B, vitamin C, and magnesium. But another very critical aspect is we can't get rid of the stress. So reframing the stress and finding relaxation techniques to lower cortisol is really critical to keeping those stress responses at bay.
Doctor, how do we know if cortisol is a problem for us? How can we measure it? Is it something that a doctor does during a routine physical, or is it a test that we must request?
Most traditional doctors don't measure cortisol. It's best to measure cortisol throughout the day because you can have a normal cortisol in the morning, but then it either tanks in the afternoon or goes up at night. So the best gold standard measurement for cortisol is to do it in saliva, and we call it a 4-point cortisol because you take it 4 times in the day. It should be high in the morning and get progressively lower throughout the day. And it's very diagnostic because if it's low in the morning, that can be a reason why you can't get up out of bed. Or if it goes high at night, that may be a reason why you can't sleep. So it's both diagnostic and therapeutic to understand where the cortisol is at throughout the day. So most doctors don't measure it. So my suggestion is that if you're feeling fat, flabby, flaky, foggy, fatigued, or forgetful, any of these symptoms of cortisol disruptions, you may have poor adrenal health and brain health. So I recommend going to a functional medicine doctor who can check your cortisol and find the root cause of why you're feeling that way.
Dr. Maita, thank you so much for being here with us today. If you would like to learn more about this topic or Dr. Maita and her work, you can visit her website, howtoliveyounger.com. And as always, to hear more from Dr. Maita, you can visit our website, cyacyl.com/Lorraine. We'll be right back.